Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy to finally have gotten vaxxed. Seems like this is a great time to be vaxxed, honestly. It's really fucked up. I really hope the global vaccine rollout goes faster and faster. Let's take a look at the vaccine figures. I'm interested in Argentina's figures. So 10% completely vaccinated, 23 million doses. That looks like about
Communism is
18
based.
million total vaccinations, which is about 40% total. So Argentina is doing a similar strategy to, I believe, Canada and the UK, where we're vaccinating single dose priority, which I think is a very good thing to do because a single dose, as I said in my last stream, offers a lot of protection. Like I honestly think, especially in countries that don't have a ton of vaccines on hand, getting people one dose is far more important than two doses. Exponentially more important because the protection from one dose, even like from the relatively weak Chinese vaccines, is still huge. Like it's enough that if you get the virus, you're not going to die. At least in most cases, you're not going to die. Obviously, there's outliers, but 50%, 60% protection, that's enough to stop most severe cases of the virus. So I absolutely think that single doses is the way to go. Single doses prioritization. Second doses when you can actually just do it, like when the opportunities arise. I got Sputnik. One dose of Sputnik, which from what I saw gives about 79% protection, which I don't know, seems exceptional to me. I'm pretty sure that'll and I'm thinking of signing up for like to be a guinea pig. There's a government program here where you can sign up to get a second doses of a different vaccine. I kind of want to do that because I think I'll get it sooner. Like if I can get a second doses of like Sinopharm, that'll be fine. I don't want AstraZeneca though because I don't want to get a blood clot. Yeah, the efficiency rate isn't that important. The most important thing is how many people is like what is the protection from hospitalization and death. And in most cases, even with the weakest vaccines, it's like 95%. So it's very good. With one dose, it's like 95%. So almost 20 million single doses. Argentina's population is what? 44 million? 45 million. And so far, we're not vaccinating people under 18. That article here said more than 50% of people 18 and plus have been vaccinated. So Argentina's doing okay. Much better than I thought we were doing a couple of months ago. So that's very good. What about other countries? Uruguay is doing very good, but it's mostly because it's a small country. But still, I'm happy. Even though I don't like the government there, I'm obviously happy that the vaccination program, I say vaccination now because I'm fucking Spanish poison, man. Oh, I went from being able to speak English perfectly to being able to speak English and Spanish badly because my brain is poisoned from being bilingual. So, Uruguay. Let's see how they're doing. 67% single doses. Ooh, 55% complete vaccination. That's very good, but it's a small country, 3 million population. So you have to consider that when your country is smaller, it's easier to get people vaccinated because, being a bigger country doesn't give you do you any favors negotiating with vaccine companies. Even smaller countries have the money to buy vaccines, right? And the world prices for these vaccines are the same either way. So being a bigger country doesn't help you out on the negotiating table that much.
I'm consuming.
How is Cuba doing? I don't know. I don't think they're doing that great. Hopefully they'll get better now that they have more of their own vaccines. Yeah, 26% first doses. That's pretty struggling. I mean, there's certainly worse places like fucking Honduras. Oh, Jesus, man. That's awful. Nicaragua, no data. Oh, 168,000. Venezuela. Oof. Like, yeah, there's worse places to be in terms of vaccines than Cuba right now. Bolivia's not doing great either. One thing that I saw that really kind of made my blood boil a little bit is the US sent 400,000 doses of Pfizer, however the fuck you pronounce it, to Uruguay, one of the countries that's doing the best on on vaccines. Come on, man. They don't need your help, really. It's like sending vaccines to fucking Poland as if Poland was an extremely poor country. It doesn't make sense. Because Uruguay is about the same level of wealth as Poland. Haiti is not even on the map. Oh, man. Just a gray. No, the Dominican Republic's doing pretty good. 31%. See what I mean? By like the Dominican Republic hasn't had it great over the centuries. But you can't compare two countries, one fucking island, one completely fucked over. the other left to do far better for being less of a threat to imperialism. Such a great example, right? I think the US is doing great because obviously they make a lot of their own vaccines and that they've had, they're the fucking US. They can do whatever they want. The pandemic is so fucking sad, man. Africa is absolutely awful too. Africa is just, man, this shit is so depressing. I don't want to look at it. It's sad. Abolish pharmaceutical companies. Fuck them all, man. Yeah, but in the US, if you have states with sub 40%, it's because people don't want to be vaccinated. You can walk into a fucking bar and get a vaccine, man. That's not fair. For me to get a vaccine, I had to wait like 6 or 7 months since the fucking rollout, and then the government had to finally acknowledge my condition as a risk factor. Then I had to wait a fucking month to get a vaccine after that. And then I got 1 dose, and now I have to wait 84 more days to get my second dose. And that's not because the government here is doing something wrong. It's just because of the way the world fucking is. There's no poor country that's doing particularly well on vaccines right now. There's no third world country. And I wouldn't even say in this case that Argentina, Uruguay, Chile these countries are doing quite well relatively, but relative to the first world, it's mostly pretty bad. But when I'm talking about the third world here, I'm talking about like Africa. I'm talking about fucking Paraguay, Bolivia, Haiti, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Honduras. All these places are just totally fucked over. India, manufacturing its own vaccine, still only 5% completely vaccinated. Vietnam, luckily, doesn't really need vaccines that much, but they're going to need them eventually due to the successful lockdown there. So yeah, I mean, the only solution to this problem is obviously systemic change, meaning socialism. Who knows if that's ever going to happen, folks. I think this whole situation really shows that, at least in the short term, more countries should probably consider developing like a native pharmaceutical industry and production factories that can be adapted to vaccine production in times like these. But I mean, at least I can hope that even under capitalism, a little bit, maybe we will learn from this. Maybe. I don't know. Hopefully. Even considering the complete failure of the system, the fact that it's just not fit for purpose at all, even within this system, there were so many fuck-ups. There were just an endless amount of fuck-ups. No government really knew what to do. Everyone just did whatever seemed natural, whatever kind of felt like right in the moment to them, right? In some places, lockdowns work great, like in China, Vietnam, New Zealand. In some places, lockdowns failed completely. Well, I wouldn't say they failed completely. In Argentina, for example, the lockdown failed. Oh, my hair is awful. I need to get a haircut again. It's only been a fucking month, man. Come on. But the lockdown in Argentina failed because it failed in the sense that it didn't eliminate the virus, but it succeeded in the sense that it gave the healthcare system time to adapt, time to expand its capacity to be able to handle more cases. So that there's at least that good part of it, but I don't know, it could have been handled much better. And the same scenario happened in a lot of countries that did lockdowns as well. Like obviously a lockdown makes perfect sense, but you gotta do it right. And it's obviously far easier to do a lockdown in a country like, the USA or Britain. Well, not so much the USA, but like a European country where, for one, there's digital payment methods where the government already has systems set up to send people stimulus checks and stuff to help them survive the pandemic. In the third world, that's not really a thing. In the third world, most 50%, 40, 30% of people operate on almost exclusively using cash. So it's just not practical to get them the money that they need to survive a pandemic, even if you do want to give them enough. So, I mean, what they should have done, at least what I hope they will do, in the event of a similar event like this in the future in a country like Argentina that has a huge proportion of people who work in the informal sector without bank accounts, without anything like that. So, have like a week of preparation where people can go and spend a few hours in a line to be given just a bunch of fucking money and then go and buy shit to get ready for like a month of lockdown. Because the reason why the lockdown kind of failed here in the sense of eliminating the virus is because people had to leave. People didn't have the money. They had to go out and work illegally, sort of, to be able to survive the pandemic. So yeah, I hope this is at least a learning experience, because I do care about human beings sometimes. Even Italians, even British. So hopefully this is a learning experience for the future, even for shitty capitalist governments, in how to properly handle a lockdown and you really need to go all or nothing. You really need to just throw all of your resources into it because it's going to be worth it later. Like, it would be so fucking worth it to just print money, spend as much as it takes. Make sure that you do it as thoroughly as possible and completely eliminate the virus in a 1-month lockdown. Even if, there's going to be more outbreaks in a couple of months, the pure economic benefit of that from the few months that things can remain open will be worth it. Like a partial lockdown or like even like a full lockdown that doesn't support people enough and isn't as enforced as it should be, is not going to do anything. It's honestly, it might even make things worse in some ways. So yeah, that's my take on the stupid pandemic.